I'm alone technically when I'm doing these Twitch streams, but also people don't really expect to see a singer at a winery. They're there to have their own day.
Really?
They didn't really know you were going to be there most of the time, and they're like, oh, interesting, if they even notice you.
Yeah.
So you're kind of performing to nothing, which takes some extra energy.
And they're talking.
And they're talking to each other and not you. Yeah. Absolutely. And Twitch is like, I like to compare it to like a living room show. It's like a bunch of you are hanging out in a living room and one person's got a guitar, and that's me. I'm the person with the guitar. But everybody's just kind of hanging out and having a conversation that includes me, so that it's a much lower lift in energy, I think. And it feels communal and fun. And so the way it works is there's a big screen where they see me, and then on the side they chat. And so I see the text that they write while I'm performing. So it all happens at the same time.
And Twitch does this. It has the sidebar.
Twitch does this. Yeah, it's really cool. So I can be part of the conversation in real time, which is fantastic. It really it builds a community feeling in a way that most of the other platforms can't even come close to. It really is very good for that.
But how do you connect with the audience when you can't see them?
Yeah. Well, when I was in my magical thinking period, when I first got on Twitch, and I was like, this is incredible. Everybody has got to do this. Why isn't anybody doing this? And then I sort of exited the magical thinking period and realized not everybody enjoys, I guess, like performing at a 10 out of 10 of energy, like alone in their basement, for 3 hours. And I do like it. I think it's fun. So it's easier than you'd think. I'm also like a big internet nerd from way back, and so I was on the forums and like the Telnet muds and muxes, if this is anything.
No, you might as well. Clicks and whirs now. I have no idea what we're talking about.
There you go. It's text-based chat rooms from way back. And so that format of talking to each other and connecting is really familiar to me anyway. And the part that's unusual is my face is there.
Yeah.
But the chat makes perfect sense to me.
But you said you go on 10 out of 10. That's for 3 hours? That's tough to sustain, isn't it?
I get tired afterward. After 3 years, I get less tired. But also, unlike a winery gig, 3 hours on Twitch is about 50% songs. And the other 50% is just chatting and hanging out with the people who are there.
Do you take a break?
I take 2 breaks. We have 2 ad breaks that are like 3 minutes long. That's the breaks I take.
Ad breaks?
Wow.
Yeah, Twitch has ads. So one of the ways that Twitch incentivizes people to
do you get a cut of this?
Subscribe to you. I do, yes.
Nice!
Yeah,
how do we get some of that sweet, sweat cash?
I'm dead serious. I think there are so many musicians who could seriously add to their careers and their finances by doing what they're already doing alone, but turning on the camera and being on Twitch.
Do you feel, and I don't want to get too heady unless you like that sort of thing. Do you feel like that's kind of where we are as a culture, though? Is that like, if you're willing to let someone watch you do what you do, will give you some shekels? Like cooking.
Maybe.
There's so many YouTube channels on like, hey, this is my workout. This is my meal prep.
My question.
Yeah.
And like the have dinner with me videos from Korea and that kind of thing, the mukbangs. I think Twitch is doing something slightly different because it's not passive viewership. You're participating in the conversation. And I think that makes it feel very different. But probably related, probably in a Venn diagram with that for sure, you know?
But don't they have to realize that you have content?
Who's they in the sentence?
Twitch. There must be some god of Twitch that sees that people are looking at you and watching you.
Yeah, so Twitch counts your viewership. Twitch has a lot of analytics that tell me like who's watching from what country. Did they come from another channel? Do they watch other channels like me? That kind of stuff. But Twitch also has really excellent algorithmic tools that help you find the kind of stream that you want to see. Like it's just really successful at showing you that. So like when I was just like exploring what is Twitch all about before I started streaming, within a day or two, I was already seeing like all singer-songwriters doing music streams, which is what I was looking for. And it started feeding me that right away. And so I found things I wanted to see. And none of the stuff, there's a lot of people who stream like DJ sets on Twitch and that kind of thing. And I stopped seeing that almost immediately. And so I think that's a lot of viewers' experience is that if they would like to see you, they do end up finding you, you know? So it's very helpful in that way. I don't have to do a lot of like cold marketing, you know?
But that takes lots of perseverance to be that
Yeah.
long, 3 days a week, and you've got to be there at a certain time playing till another time.
Definitely. I consider streaming on Twitch to basically be my music day job at this point. It's my biggest income stream. And I think that you're absolutely right. The consistency is like the number one key to being successful.
What about when you're on vacation?
Well, I just took one actually, and I let everybody know in advance, and I posted a schedule. Like, these are the days I won't be here. This is the day I'm coming back, and that works pretty well. It doesn't give you much of a dip.
So you don't post when you're on vacation, just in your room or whatever?
No, I don't. And I've done a couple one-off streams when I'm traveling, but my setup, my everyday setup, is a little too techie to travel with me. Like, I stream on a PC tower, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I have like a nice audio interface and that kind of thing. So I could do the travel version, but plenty of people do. Plenty of people, that's their whole thing. So I'm experimenting a little bit with that, but haven't done very much.
I wanted to give you a quick props. Your calendar display that you had for your Twitch schedule was really nice because you had the coded, like, here's the X means this is happening, the heart means this is happening. But it was very quick and to the point and effective. Cool. And it was something and it was pleasing to look at. So it was nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
I like making the little graphics and the art. It's fun.
Yeah. If you want to see how to have like a good social media presence, Emily, you do it well. And it's not overwhelming and it doesn't come across as like sometimes they come across a little gimmicky.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that, like, do you mind peeling back a little layers? Do you ever feel like you're coming across gimmicky, or do you ever try?
For sure. I think social media, I have the same problem that I feel like all indie artists I've ever talked to have, which is that we low-key hate it. It's really hard to make it a part of your daily, weekly work, the regular, consistent promotion of what you were already doing. It comes really unnaturally to a lot of us, I think, and I'm really grateful for you saying that. I'm glad it comes across as maybe natural or something like that. Because,
well, not natural because it's the internet, so
Well, sure,
it's not at all.
But
it comes across subtle and low key, which is
I'm really glad.
and
a little gimmicky
really
works.
Gimmicky can work. There are people who they're total experts at this, and they know all the ins and outs and why something works and why something doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And I super don't. I feel like a real beginner. I'm trying all the time to learn, but it does take so much energy that I have that. I feel like this is the dilemma of every indie artist, is like, how much energy should you put in to learning this skill set that is some people's full-time jobs, 40 hours a week, nonstop. And when we already have one, and that's music,
Yes. Do you watch other performers to try to pick up tips?
Big time. I watch other streams. I go on other people's social accounts and see what they're doing and what I like that they're doing, and copy it shamelessly.
So this is something that I've come across recently for our social media, is that I've given up on trying to look like I'm not trying, and now I'm going the other direction, which is I am going to very much communicate that I am trying too hard. And I got the idea from this. I don't know how I got this into our feed, but I got this random guitarist from Baltimore, and he has like no followers. He's got like 10 followers. I think he's mostly just talking to his friends. He posts the most insane shit you have ever seen. And I don't mean like dangerous. I just mean like these random
off the wall rantings about like the coming spirits and how he knows where all the things are hidden. But then he'll like post like his pork chop that he just ate and be like, "Oh, God defines that I need to feed myself." And it's always misspelled. He always has these pictures that are like this. And I was like, that's the thing, because I can't tear myself away from it when he posts. I'm like, oh my God, what's he gonna say next?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I got to figure out how to incorporate this into our shit.
I think what I like about that is that it sounds kind of relaxing, because you can post whatever you like. That sounds
and entertaining. You're there. You're the audience. They're putting on a show for you.
God help if you can just be entertaining in social media. Like, that's all I want. Just be entertaining. It doesn't have to be funny, but it's great if it is. But just entertain me, for God's sakes. Like, we have this 3.5 seconds, like, give me something.
I know. It's wild. Yes. I know. I don't know if you guys know the singer-songwriter Rebecca Loewe. I want to say she lives in Texas. She spent time in Nashville, and she has family here, so she plays here a lot. She just did this big newsletter about she's taking a year-long break from social media, and here's why, and the books she's read on the subject, and it was very well thought out. And part of me was jealous, Part of me was like, wow, that sounds pretty nice, but you need it also. And she acknowledges that in her in her long treatise on the subject. You know, we all kind of need it. So you have to make your peace with it and do it the way that feels good.
Yeah, she comes back energized.
Right, I hope so. I hope that
Yeah.
is the case. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I just want people to, at the end of the day, I just want people to be puzzled and curious. That's all I really want.
You just want to be really confusing and unknowable. And
But-
I appreciate that.
But enough to make them say, I want to see what these MFers are up to. And then it's all I can hope for.
That's great.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that.
That's exactly. If you can satisfy their curiosity in one way or another, and entertain them and make them feel comfortable, you've got them in your hand.
Yeah, I hope, I'm crossing my fingers, I hope my social media comes across that way. I really love the way that the social parts of Twitch feel very comfortable and natural. And, we're building real connections. We're all real people connecting as a community. And
Are you certain of this?
I sure hope so, because I'm about to go to like 20 of their houses on a house concert tour this summer. So I
ready?
want to say yes.
We could get into a catfish situation.
Somehow.
So you're
But-
saying
but
there
so
isn't
I'm-
even that person in this house? What is happening?
And I'm hoping that social media, on other platforms can feel even like a small part.
There's something very neighborly about Twitch that I can't put my finger on.
What a great word. That is absolutely true. Yes.
I
that way
don't
about
know
other
why it
streamers, too.
exists, but it does. I think part of it is their color palette, to be honest.
Ooh, good call. Hey, they have great colors on Twitch. They do.
They do. It's a nice purple orangey.
Very soothing purple with
Very
like
soothing.
accents. Yeah, very nice.
And most of their emoji, like I can't, like once you get into a stream where there's like all the emojis and stuff happening, I'm just like, I can't fucking handle this.
It is a lot of bells and whistles.
It's a lot of sounds and a lot of like, hey, thank you so and so for giving me $5, and then I just get jealous as I see like someone giving like $25.
see the
and I'm
money
like,
Is there a
Pouring
list
in.
of donors they have on the screen?
there are,
Really?
yeah, and sometimes people give a lot of fucking money, man.
Sometimes people do.
Yeah.
My experience has been that around the holidays, every year at the end of the year, people float around streams just looking for random streamers to surprise with a gift, which is extremely lovely. So there is this culture this very neighborly culture of like,
Amazing.
oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Here's $20,
We've been doing this show for 8.5 years. We are in the hole about $6.5 million. But we think it's going to turn around for us. We think this is the year.
This is the year.
This is the year.
As soon as that loan comes through, right?
Well, I think mostly, P.S. We didn't get that grant.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. I did
Well, his
something
name was Sharky, so it didn't matter.
I know. It wasn't so much a grant as it was a loan.
Was it a Nigerian prince by any chance?
Yeah,
That's
and
Don's
you had to-
joke.
We worked it out down in the dark alley.
I see.
If I told you how many times Don made the Nigerian prince joke.
Oh, no, I
Yeah,
stole
you stepped
it.
on
I'm
his
so
joke. I love talking about Twitch. I love talking about social media. I love talking about streaming. Let's talk about stage performance.
All right.
Wait a minute. How does what you do on Twitch apply to the stage?
Yeah. Connect the
Sure.
two.
I'll tell you what. So I did a lot of local gigs before the pandemic, and then they all turned off, and then they have sort of trickled back on. And I've done a couple of tours since the numbers went down and everything, and became safer to go out. And the big difference I have noticed is that Twitch has given me a real resilience for the unexpected because of all the bells and the whistles and the things visually moving at you whenever you're never expecting it. It's always random. And so on stage, if I'm like at a bar and there's like a sudden loud noise at the end of the bar, that is much less disruptive to me personally than it used to be. I'm like, oh, a random sound? I know all about that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it's given me this certain resilience that I really appreciate, for live shows. It helps a lot.
That's nice. That's not. But how does it give you the insight as far as talking to the audience?
Yeah, I think so. I feel more comfortable doing in between song banter. I still feel, depending on the show, I still feel like doing a little bit of prep and preparing a few transitions is still smart.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense on Twitch because it's all live, and you can't really prepare for any aspect of what you're going to do on a stream. But for a show, I do think that a little more structure can help. I will also say that it's made me a stronger singer, singing 9 hours a week on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, when I
Yeah.
started doing live shows again, a lot less tiring now, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that you're definitely clued into something. I hope that's something that you should spread around. I mean, obviously that's why we do it on StageCraft, because these sort of things you hope people pick up. But there, I do fully agree with what you're saying. Like if you're a person who's serious about your craft and you're putting in this time,
Yeah.
it's just the nature of where we are it's just where we are. Some of that stuff you have to share because otherwise, and I hate to use these kinds of words, it's an efficiency thing. Like you, in order to be relevant in the modern area, you do have to be feeding the algorithm. Like you do, right?
Yeah.
Why make special content for that when you can just be using existing content for it?
100%.
Right?
100%.
It's an efficiency.
I think it's the only way to go, or you'll just burn out immediately and
or resent it too. You know,
and get very resentful.
which I guess that is burnout. I didn't mean to repeat what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're totally right, and I don't consider myself very good at that. For instance, I'm making 9 hours of content a week on Twitch.
It's tremendous amount of content,
and that could be going on other platforms every single time I stream, but I would have to be doing that work myself, and I have burned out once since I started streaming on Twitch and trying to take on sort of wear all the hats of the indie music business for myself. And I learned through that experience of having burnout that I cannot wear all the hats. So I've had to just like strategically let some of them go until I can hire someone else to wear it for me, you know? So, and that like work smarter, not harder stuff of putting the content onto all the different platforms, that is one of those jobs that is just going to have to be someone else's, you know?
I feel that. I was talking to a drummer friend last night, and he was saying that, like, for himself and what he's experienced is, like, the drummer of the band, for some reason, seems to be, like, geared towards doing both.
Oh.
Like, they seem to have a head for the, like, yeah, I can do
Incredible.
The sausage making, and I can play the beats. Wow. And he said, but it seems to be like mostly the drummers who can do that. And I was like, because for me, like I hate that shit. Like I am so over it, which is why I do the content the way I do, which is like, here you go, like negative attention, you know. But yeah, like every band.
That's a good band name.
Negative Attention. Negative Attention. I'm fairly certain someone already has that. Right?
All right.
Negative Attention, Charlie. Now that's a better. Like you can have that one if you want that one. But you're a solo act, right? I
am a solo act, yeah.
So you're like, there is no like, hey, can you take care of this for me? Right?
There's no, I'm the only person who can wear any hats. Yeah. One of my goals for this year was to try and bring on some team members, and I'm experimenting with that right now, basically.
Payroll checks.
Ahead of my tour.
Is this an interview right now? Is that what this is?
Yeah, this is a job interview. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh man, hopefully not in a pine box. I mean, that's all I'm hoping for.
So we got that $6 million debt.
We got to pay that off.
$6 million. That's rough. That's a rough deal right there.
Yeah. Well,
turnaround.
You play 9 hours a week.
Yeah.
How do you must repeat things?
I do. Yeah.
A lot.
I do. So the way it's kind of shaken out on my channel is that I have a song list with everything that I know how to play on it, and my viewers make requests.
Oh.
So everything I'm playing is a requested song, so I haven't had to make a decision in like 3 years.
That is smart.
So I do
clever person,
right? It really works out, although it has made me experience more panic at having to make decisions the few times now that I do. I'm like, oh no, usually someone else does this. I don't want to do it.
But those are the songs you want to play, and so it really, it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah. And if I don't want to play something, like if I really don't want to play something, like I'll take it off the list,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's a great idea.
So when you do the request, do people tip for that?
No, a lot of streamers do have that connected to like a $1, $2 tip. I don't, just because I play like 95% original songs by me on my channel, which is kind of an anomaly. A lot of people, sitting with a guitar on Twitch play covers, and I don't know very many covers, and I never have. So it doesn't seem quite right to ask people to pay $1 to hear a song of mine they've never heard before because I wrote it, and how would they know it?
They could tie into your recordings of it.
You can do the same thing. I can play recordings on there for sure.
Yeah, but I mean them listen to, you play something and then them buying the whatever it is.
I see what you're saying. It does filter down. I have definitely noticed an increase in Bandcamp sales and streams since I started on Twitch for sure.
Neat.
Yeah. And I should say too, I've been on 2 or 3 tours since starting streaming, and at every single tour stop, at least one person from my Twitch channel has been there.
Hell yeah!
They also come to shows, which is incredible.
So they are real people.
They're real people, and they're lovely.
They're sideline to the show called Economic StageCraft.
The economics of StageCraft.
Yes.
How to lose all your money real fucking quick.
How to lose $6
Be a
million
musician.
and
Become a musician.
So speaking of, just as a quick thing, because you mentioned the tour,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little about the upcoming tour that you have? I know that there was a question from the audience on that. Also, this is a reminder. I wanted to apologize so the first couple minutes we had a little bit of an audio difficulty, just for the first couple of minutes.
Okay.
So as a reminder, Emily Henry, this is Emily Henry's show, and if anyone has any questions, they should enter them into the chat, and Kat will deliver to them to us.
Chat?
Yeah, we have a chat.
Oh my gosh, guys.
The computer's downstairs, though. We're set up, obviously, very clearly well for streaming here.
That's great. I love it. Well, Chad, I can't see you, but I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, no, chat, not
chat.
Chad.
Yeah, chat.
Oh, I thought you said Chad.
No, addressing chat as a whole. As
chat.
As an entity, yeah.
Got it.
As you've heard for the past however long, I love chats because I'm from Twitch. So I'm glad you're here. I wish I could see you. But yeah, let us know your questions. I'd love to answer them.
So the upcoming tour.
I'm doing a house concert tour. I've played house concerts before, but never an entire tour of them. But I know a few artists who've done them and prefer them, really, to venue tours. Thank you, by the way.
Is it weird for them to play in the same place they're sleeping? Hi-oh!
Every house concert I've ever played, people have been not just like respectful and lovely hosts, but also like really excited to participate in putting on a music show, because most people don't get to peek behind the curtain like that, And
Absolutely. And just as a quick aside, I just want to mention this. This is something that I mention on the show so often, and it goes into what you were saying with the Twitch. For the love of God, people desperately want to give you money. Like people love spending money. I don't know why. I don't have a lot of it. I don't like spending it. But people who have it, they love fucking spending it. It's like their favorite thing to do in the world. So just give them any opportunity. Having a house concert is a great way to make people not just feel involved, but they'll probably help you out with getting people at the show.
Absolutely.
Efficiency.
Absolutely. And buy merch. And let me tell you, I've got a Patreon, which I started a couple of years ago. I'm kind of late to the Patreon game in terms of my peers. I've known people who've had them since like the first year, but mine's kind of new. And I had a really lovely person who came from Twitch to my Patreon, subscribe at like a very high level to my Patreon. And then after a few months, sent me this really long, beautiful message that was saying, unfortunately, I'm going to have to downgrade my patronage because I just lost my job and I have to focus on my family. But supporting independent art is incredibly important to me. I budget for it every year. I support like 30 people on Patreon. And so this is really hard for me and I'm really sorry. And I'll be back as soon as I have a job. And I was like, you're doing great. Thank you so much. You don't have to apologize.
But I'm still going to need that fee at the end of the month.
No,
or pulling the plug.
Truly, the gesture was incredibly touching.
Of course. I'm not trying to take away from
No,
you. I'm just trying to be funny.
Absolutely. Just the idea that truly it is so important to people and that they value art that much that really they do want to give you money. They want to give artists money. They want art to live. They want art to survive. And I think that's true. Yeah.
Explain to me and everyone what Patreon is.
Oh, Patreon. So Patreon is the fun modern way that you too can be a Renaissance era patron of the arts. That's where the word Patreon comes from. The whole idea is that it is crowdsourcing patronage. So instead of being one wealthy billionaire who loves to commission oil paintings, you get 50 of your closest friends to all give $5 to an independent artist, and that sort of shakes out to a regular income stream for that artist. There are visual artists on Patreon who do paintings and digital art and screensavers and stuff. There are people who their whole YouTube channels are funded on Patreon. Musicians like me. I follow a couple like fantasy D&D podcasts on Patreon. So like anything you can think of that independent creators are making, it helps you fund the work directly.
Yeah, I know. I listen to 500 Songs, which is on Patreon too.
They are on Patreon. Yes, absolutely. There you go.
Wow. Can you let people know how they find your Patreon?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. You can find me at patreon.com/EmilyHenryMusic, which is my handle on everything. So if you're on a website and you're like, is Emily Henry here? You should search Emily Henry Music.
I mean, I don't know how to tell you people how to use the internet. No offense, but you go to your web crawler of choice. Yeah, and you type in Emily Henry Music, and I'm sure some relevant shit will come up.
You write Emily Henry Music on a piece of paper, you crumple it around a rock, you throw it into the sea. And then
Witchcraft is what we're talking
Patreon.
about.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it works.
So we were going to talk a little bit about stage performance.
Yes.
So for you, it sounded like there used to be, you used to have some difficulties around stage banter, or maybe like you felt like maybe it was disingenuous, or you felt like it was...
No, not as dramatically as that. I guess what the word I would use before I started streaming on Twitch was maybe just a little bit uncomfortable due to a lack of experience. You know, I'd played a bunch of live gigs. My parents are both musicians and like used to put my like baby carrier on top of the amp at band practice, that kind of thing. You know? So music and like microphones have always been a part of my life ever since before I can remember. So that part of being on stage is not. Doesn't, you know, I never get stage fright, you know, but you still don't wake up in the morning knowing how to communicate on stage, be funny in between songs.
Very hard.
Transition from one to another. If I have to put my guitar down, I never know what to do with my hands, like that kind of thing. And it's just, you have to learn it as a skill. You have to take it seriously in practice. And
then you're super aware of your hands and you're like, why am I doing this with my hands? I keep doing things.
Man.
What am I doing?
But if you're going to play 20 shows on the road, that's going to, you know, hone and sharpen.
It helps you out. It helps you out in a big way. And I think the live tours I did in the past couple of years helped majorly in that way. Especially because that was sort of a transition from like no live shows anymore, all internet, to like sort of 50-50 live and internet. And I'm glad I had those opportunities to remember how to be on stage in front of people, I guess, you know, before I went on a big solo tour. So, yeah.
But you're comfortable on stage now.
I feel a lot more comfortable now. I still don't know what to do with my hands. I am looking forward to one day really buckling down and like watching some videos on what do you do with your hands. I've done a couple of shows that aren't just solo, like with other musicians. Sean Mayon in the area is an incredible pianist, and he and I have done some gigs where he adds quite a lot to my songs. But when he's playing piano, I'm not holding a guitar, and so I got to figure out, you know, what I'm doing. And I think that StageCraft is an underutilized aspect of the job that a lot of indie musicians, it's sort of like an afterthought, you know. They build the sound. Sometimes they even build the brand and the image, you know, and what they look like vis-a-vis their music, and they aren't thinking about like the 3D, the moving, creating moments on stage.
Yeah, man, you're preaching to the choir here. Yeah, and the other like, because we get another version of that, which is the same, which is like, oh, I don't care, man. I just go up there and I do it.
Right,
you know?
you got to be natural.
Well,
you got to
what the
follow your
fuck,
instincts.
man? Like, well, someone cares.
But that is what you want it to seem like.
Yeah.
I mean, I would suggest checking out videos music videos, say like Bono.
Oh yeah, watching the big ones.
And it's, you know, it's so natural. He's not the only one. There's a lot of them like that. That they just seem like
Guar. Is Guar one of them?
Yeah, Guar's one. Well, in the opposite direction, but it's what they're doing seems natural, and they're comfortable in their own skins up there.
Yeah.
And you could watch them very effortlessly.
I think watching an artist who you can tell is comfortable and an artist who you can tell is like, you know, uncertain about aspects of being up there, you can tell the difference right away, and it really affects your experience as an audience. I totally agree. Yeah.
Especially when they say, I haven't practiced this much.
Oh, the worst. Oh, don't do that.
I know, it's terrible.
I was just at a show this weekend, and they said, yeah, it's the first time we played this. And I was like, no one fucking wants to know.
Buddies, don't say it.
And now I'm just going to judge this, and I don't even want to. Like, I don't even know why I am.
I'm sorry if I mess up some of the chords or the words or something.
Geez.
But it's
matter of fact, why am I here on stage?
Everyone does it, though. I mean, we
I've
ride
done my fair share for sure.
Yeah, we ride that shit pretty hard, but at the end of the day, like we all use crutch words or phrases in particular moments that we feel like we have to fill time.
How's everybody feeling?
How's everybody feeling tonight?
How are you feeling?
Listen, make sure you talk to, and I like when they never know the bartender's name. They're like, make sure you tip the bartender tonight. The who? The bartender. Yeah, Mr. Bartender. Or
It's a machine.
Could be AI. It could be AI. This whole thing could be AI.
Holy cow.
Is this podcast AI?
Can you talk a little bit about, you know, oftentimes we emulate people when we first get started. What brought you?
Don't use those big words, please.
I know you get so mad when I use
do.
anything over
Travel
3
word.
syllables. What did you emulate at first when you were getting started? Like, were you going for something in particular, or were you like, I'm going to be original? I am Emily Henry.
Cher?
Cher's a good one.
Love Cher. You know, that I feel like that question is a spin on the who are your influences question that we all get.
Yeah.
Well, I got to figure out a better way to say that.
Oh, no, I think it is better what you said. But I have the same answer, which is like, I didn't have anybody specific really. I think of myself as a writer before a performer. And so I knew I wanted to write, and being on stage sort of seemed like a natural part of it that I should be doing. you know? And so I wasn't thinking about like, oh, look at that person on stage. That's what I want to do. I was thinking like, oh, listen to that song. I want to write like that.
That totally makes sense. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody gets to it differently, right?
Yeah, I really, truly, for as many musicians as there are in the world, I think there are that many ways to get into it, you know, and different things to like about it, for sure.
If you wanted to interview someone, a performer, who would you want to interview?
That's another way to ask it.
Patty Griffin. I love Patty Griffin, and she is like the only songwriter I can point to when somebody asks me that question, like who are your influences? And I wouldn't call her my only one, but she's a pretty consistent one. I really love her stuff, especially like lately she's been doing some gospel albums, but like way back when she did like pure folk Americana albums, and they just pull your heartstrings. I love sad songs. I write a lot of them, and so does she. And she just makes you cry, and I admire it a lot. So I would love to ask her, like, where do these very sad songs come from? How do you build something this emotional? Is it, you know, does it just come to you, or is it structurally crafted? Like, tell me all about it, you know?
Yeah, how do you do it?
Yeah.
How do you know how to make me cry?
Yeah. I would just say, how do you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very hard. Songwriting, I mean, that's the whole thing to get into.
Heck yeah. Does the chat have anything to say? Any questions?
Let's see.
No, we're finished.
Bye.
Yeah, one thing Emily does is look at the camera. Not a lot of streamers are great at that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I can't. Let me hold on. I got to get my readers on so I can see.
Let's stop right there.
Gray area.
That's Mig.
I don't like performers, even on stage live,
Yeah.
who do not look at the audience. You know, those people.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm gonna play this song. This I wrote back in December. Hope you like it. You know, that type of thing.
We're looking all over the room in case you weren't here to see.
Yeah.
We're looking at the ceiling, the floor.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That was so helpful.
You're absolutely
Wait,
welcome.
you have a camera. Where's the camera?
Remember the laptop went downstairs. We had to do a whole thing, little behind the scenes.
I have noticed that about other streamers, and I agree. I think that you lose something in a live show when the artists aren't looking at the audience. But I also relate incredibly hard to this because if I make eye contact with human eyes during my song, I will forget the lyrics. Like I can't make eye contact at all.
I agree.
And so like I choose a spot above the heads and I look sort of at the wall or in the middle distance, and that helps me, but it still looks like you're looking at the audience. And I do the exact same thing on Twitch, even though there's nobody in the room for me to accidentally look at. I sort of look under the webcam, you know, and that way, yeah, it looks head on. I think head on is nice. I think acknowledging that you are quote unquote in the room with somebody is nice, you know, instead of like looking off to the side and pretending that you're just having an experience by yourself, and also there happen to be however many people watching you.
Well, we
know,
are trying to create
together.
a moment
You're
here,
there
right?
Together. Yeah.
And then there's some intimacy that's required in order to make a moment.
Absolutely.
Or vulnerability, not necessarily intimacy.
Vulnerability. I like both. I think you're totally right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's lots of examples that go in the opposite direction. I'm thinking of one like, I hate to knock them because they got some good songs, but The Cure. If you ever see some of The Cure videos,
I don't think I've ever
Robert
seen
Smith.
The Cure, like a video of The Cure.
they're looking into space.
He does look straight up into the air. Yeah. That's like his
Straight up?
jam. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He does like sort of
Straight
a
up?
like a thing like this.
That's fair.
It kind of goes with that emo vibe though, right?
Yes, it does.
That emo
Yeah,
vibe.
that's very genre specific. Feels like, I
But
feel
it
like
doesn't
it can work.
connect.
It does not connect.
That's fair.
I mean, it all depends what you're going for. I mean, if you
Depends what
want,
you're going for.
if you want that black cloak and magical type, you know, I'm Guar.
Goth.
Goth.
Like
Yes.
Cure,
Yes.
you know, there is a Venn diagram between The Cure and Guar, though. There is some
Really?
overlap there
Okay.
somewhere, I bet.
All right.
Bauhaus is the overlap.
You know, this I'm sure doesn't have anything to do with either of those bands, but I'm thinking right now of Chapel Roan and seeing the recent videos of her performing at Coachella and the Governor's Ball, and makes like aggressive eye contact. She'll like find the camera and like lean down into it, you know, which is a real vibe. I really like it. Yeah.
There was a, not that it's high art, but I remember there was a couple of Super Bowl performances ago that Shakira and someone else performed. And I watched my little nephew, because Shakira like looked at the camera and gave the camera like a very, you know, specific look. And I watched my like nephew like have that moment of like, huh. I think.
Was she looking at me?
Yeah, like I think I might be in love with Shakira. Like no, that she did that. That's part of the show, son. Like that.
It's amazing.
I do have I have some more comments from the stream. Would you like to hear them?
I would love to hear them.
All right, here we go. Tell us about how you craft a song. Lyrics first or melody first? This is a question from Michelle Bird.
Thanks,
or Bread.
Michelle Bird. It's Bird.
Oh, it's Bird.
Michelle Bird. This could be a whole another few hours, but I'll keep it short.
But it's interesting.
It's endlessly interesting. I love talking about songwriting. It's my favorite part of the process, and yeah, you can always reinvent how you get to a song, like it can always be different, which is so cool. It's never boring, and I guess the easy answer is most of the time, lyrics and melody and guitar all sort of happen at once. Like I'm usually playing guitar and like singing some nonsense syllables until they coalesce into like actual consonants, and then I'm singing a lyric, and then we're off, and I just sort of let the song tell me what it's about. You know what I mean? I just kind of say words until I've got a few in a row, and then I write them down, and I'm like, interesting. This seems to be about X, Y, and Z. And then I can be more intentional from there. But I do like to kind of see where it takes me, because I think a lot of the time letting my creativity like do its thing gets me more interesting results than if I sit down with an intention. Because what I can imagine before I start writing, I think is like a little more limiting than just like letting my brain go, and do whatever it's going to do. So yeah, that's, I guess sort of all at once is what I aspire to.
Thanks for the question, Michelle Bird.
Yes, thank you so much.
Here's a question. Emily, it says someone did ask Michelle Bird again. Emily, how do you make people cry with your songs? Because that's what you do when you sing.
I do make people cry sometimes, and I love it, and I don't regret it.
Do you do it deliberately?
I do. And here's what let me clarify. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how one writes a song that makes people cry versus doesn't. I genuinely don't. But having done it long enough now, I can tell which ones might be in that category and which ones might not. And I do lean into it. I'm like, this is one of those. Let's turn it up. Mm-hmm. I love it, and it's a little funny to say like, oh, I love to make people cry, but like I really do love that a song can connect with people like that, and it's special. It's special to have written something that moves somebody, and so I don't know how, but I do like making people cry.
Well, and I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
A little incident. I like playing like that too.
Yeah.
And I was playing at the farmer's market. It was just 2 Sundays ago.
Ooh.
And it was more like in the emo kind of vibe, just myself and guitar.
Yeah.
And someone comes up and says, "Can you do something a little more upbeat?" And it just killed it. It just killed it.
That's happened to me back when I was playing like the winery shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you are kind of the soundtrack of their day, at that kind of show. And weeping constantly is like not the vibe everybody was expecting. So yeah. I do get it. But yeah, that's rough, especially because that's what I want out of an artistic experience. I want there to be,
Sure.
emotion and
yeah, but that's not too much to ask. I mean, like honestly, like for an audience to be vulnerable enough to feel, that's like the minimum, And I'm not trying to be a dick. And wineries maybe are a little different because, you go to a winery generally to get drunk, but you're going to cry eventually because you're getting drunk anyway. So you might as well, right?
You heard it here first. You're going to cry at the winery.
You're going to cry. Well, so what did I say the other day? Alex Perez he's having trouble getting some people to the open mic. And so I sent out a post.
Where was this at?
This is the one in Brittany's out in Lake Ridge.
Oh,
which
yes.
Where the fuck is Lake Ridge? I don't even know where that is. Is that like
it's a ways?
It's a ways, right?
Yeah, I think it's down towards Chantilly.
Oh my God, that might as well be another country, So anyway, and I wrote in there in the thing. I said, "Hey, go out to see Alex's open mic at Lake Ridge. You're gonna drink 3 beers tonight, anyways. You might as well do it at Alex's."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like that.
Well, let's just as an aside, Alex is a hardworking guy, and he runs a great open mic.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
He runs several open mics.
Oh, man.
Alex is an expert in the open mic field.
Yep.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yep.
Plays 3 hours often.
Yeah, amazing.
Definitely one
Tireless.
of the hardest working people.
Yeah. One time I was at a winery and I was gearing up for a high note, and I was like inside, but all the windows were open and a lot of folks were outside. It was a nice day. And I hit that high note, and a woman perpendicular to me just covered her ears, and I was like, "Oh, this is a low point."
Yeah.
Don't like that feeling.
Yeah. I mean, you're on a road and all of a sudden someone forces you off it.
Right?
All right, now this is a good opportunity for you. We're coming at the end of the show,
Oh,
and
all right.
and someone has asked, with the house tour, I don't know, my voice just cracked like a teenager there. With the house show coming up, with the house tour coming,
about it, Alex?
Hello, I'm finally puberty. It's been 9 years.
Good audio. This is good.
With the house tour coming up, and some of us having you as a guest, what are the things we can do to make you more comfortable?
What a nice thing to say.
We got to get you a rider list. What's on that
Right?
rider list?
Yeah.
Green M&Ms would be great. No, that's so lovely. So yes, we started talking about it before, and I got distracted. I'm easily distractible. I'm doing a house show tour this summer. I'm going to be on the road for over a month. I'm hitting at least 20 cities. I'm going as far as Vancouver, Canada, and like California, Arizona, Albuquerque. I'm making a huge circle of the U.S. And every one of those shows is going to be different. They're all being held in homes. They're all being held in the host homes, in garages and backyards, living rooms, basements. So it's hard to say what everybody could do, but I feel like number one has already been accomplished, which is like open your home and to independent music, and just say like, yes, I am incredibly grateful for how quickly this tour has gotten booked. I was saying, I don't know if you guys heard this earlier. I forget if I was on mic or not, but I was comparing booking this tour to booking a traditional venue tour. And it is like pulling teeth trying to book a month's worth of actual venues, because there's contracts and there's different people you have to talk to in different departments, and they've got their own calendar of music events that might not line up with your tour. And so it's just, it's this endless parade of emails and like agreeing to things and then taking them back and then revising, and sometimes you're going to make like almost no money because of the way the contracts have to work out. And so it can be quite painful trying to book a full venue tour, and booking this house concert tour has been a dream. And I already know that I'm going to go somewhere where they're excited to hear me, which is also not the case at a live venue. You have no idea who's going to show up.
Good.
So I think step one has really been accomplished, which is just like be willing to attend and host
That's so beautiful. And I think, anyone who knows you and follows your Twitch and listens to your music knows that's very representative of the beautiful artist that you are.
Thank you.
Now let's get down to some real shit. Cash is definitely something I'm sure Emily would welcome. Gas money, beverages of her choice. What's your favorite beverage?
This is Alex's list for me.
Yeah, I'm helping out. Yeah,
Thank you.
This is the.
We've got a big
Don't
chalkboard
forget
up
the green
here.
M&Ms.
What's your favorite foods? What food can we have there for you? Are you a cheese platter person?
I'm this is you're gonna hate this answer. I love water. I really love water, and I can't
water?
drink enough of it. This is true. Like,
We can get it. Yeah.
a family joke is that when we go to a restaurant, we ask the waiter for a pitcher because I kind of need the pitcher. Like that's my deal. So literally, water would be so good. And I also love tea in the morning. So if you have the ability to boil water in your house, I'm gonna make use of that for sure.
Yeah, come on now. How do you feel about pets?
Love pets. Not allergic to pets. I would love to scritch your adorable pets on their heads, if
There
that's
we go.
okay.
Yeah.
I think those are my rider elements. I'd love to pet your beautiful animals. Do you guys have any board games? I'd love to see your board game collection. I probably don't have time to play one, but I'd love to take a look.
Now, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. Are you a open the medicine cabinet person when you go to the bathroom?
God, no.
Okay.
No, I would be...
Probably shouldn't have asked that before she went on the tour.
No,
She
you're
was like,
fine.
I totally do, yeah.
I think everybody is, isn't they?
No,
I definitely open
I
it
would be
every time.
terrified. I like baseline disrespectful, sure, but I would also feel like the police were on their way the moment I like trespass somebody's private property. Like it's, you know what I mean? I would be like, wow, they're watching me right now, and they all know I did crimes. I'm going to jail. So.
Mostly I like to look in the medicine cabinet because I just want to know what my options are for later that evening.
There you go.
Yeah, What are we getting into?
I'd like to know what toothpaste they have.
That's what I meant.
There you
That's
are.
what I meant by options. That's what I meant by
figured.
options, of
Yes, of
course.
course,
And
of
the
course.
floss.
Green, do they have vanilla? What's going on?
All right, let me see if I have any more questions because we got to get no pie. I already know that.
Yeah, I hate pie.
You
I
do
hate
not
pie.
like pie?
I'm sorry.
What the fuck is happening?
I know that I'm in the wrong on this one. I don't like pie.
Any kind of pies?
Have you ever had a pie that you were like, that might be all right?
Yes, I've had a pie that might be all right.
Which one is that?
It was an apple pie made by my stepmom, Michelle.
I don't even know I don't even know who we're talking to now. Apple pie.
And it had cardamom in it. And that was the difference. Because of the cardamom, I was like, this is all right. I still wouldn't voluntarily like put an apple pie over, for instance, chocolate cake. That's just insanity.
I agree fully.
Yeah.
I don't. But I wouldn't pick
pie over
apple.
Pie over cake for you?
But not apple pie. I do not like apple pie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
is
So you
ass.
two are pie folks. What pie are we talking?
Oh, I'm desserts all
Peach.
day. You
Okay,
peach pie?
Peach pie.
Good peach pie is
Okay.
really good. Not too sweet at all.
Oh,
Because you want to taste the peaches.
okay, gotcha.
But I'm good with a peach pie.
I like
a little bit of
peaches
whipped cream on
on their own.
top.
Oh, yeah. Homemade whipped cream.
Yes.
I like strawberry pie.
Strawberry is good too.
I'm not sure I've ever had a strawberry
Yes.
pie. Fascinating.
It's just wonderful.
There was a Reeves Bakery downtown that had strawberry pies. Literally, it was a really good flaky crust, and they just put strawberries in and whipped cream on top.
Wow.
There was no kind of gelatinous, not gelatinous. Gelatinous.
That's the thing I don't like in the pie is the squishiness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there are places that do not use either much of it or some places none of it. But,
Ah,
but
okay.
it's tough to hold it together without it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So wait, is this place still around?
No.
Oh well.
You could probably get a dry pie. I bet Acme Pie has some like not wet pies.
You guys will have to give me recommendations. I'm willing to be convinced. I've just never had.
I think we should have like a whole pie, like we could do like a pie day.
Pie day.
Yeah, and then we just try
Beyond
different
pie?
pies. We try to figure out if there's one that satisfies.
Okay,
Favorite,
I like that.
favorite dessert, and then I want to give you the last word. Done.
Favorite dessert?
What's your favorite dessert?
Ooh, chocolate anything. So like chocolate chip cookies, chocolate brownies, chocolate cake, like that. Chocolate.
Very good. Very good.
Chocolate. You like dark or milk?
Dark only.
Dark only.
Yeah, milk.
What percent?
No thanks. Not like 85 or anything crazy. Then it starts to taste like a baking
85's
ingredient.
That's unsweetened.
Yeah.
Most.
So I'm like a healthy 70.
75,
70,
somewhere.
in there.
72 is the highest I can go.
72 is not, is okay. Once you get lower than that, then
Or lower. I'm sorry, 72 is the lowest I can go. I don't like to go below like 80 if I don't
yeah.
have to.
Gotcha. So you're eating straight baking chocolate.
I'm reverse that. No, I'm a
the
milk
other
chocolate
thing.
guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm milk chocolate all day.
milk chocolate. Okay.
Dark chocolate can kiss my
I was
ass.
just picturing you just like eating Baker's chocolate tablets.
No,
Just delicious.
God, no.
I just like the texture. It's
It's
just,
just,
delightful.
you know?
I really like the way it just dries my mouth.
I got those cocoa nibs stuck in my teeth.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you like milk chocolate. Is that your number one choice?
If I'm going desserts, I go tiramisu all day, every
Ooh.
day. Yeah.
Good tiramisu.
Yeah.
Fancy over here.
Bad tiramisu is bad.
Tres leches, I'm
100%.
also a big
Yes.
fan of. Go all
Okay.
day.
Tres
on that.
leches. Do you hear that?
Well, you
So
could put
Tres
some
leches
over.
is delicious. It doesn't love me back. However, I'm lactose intolerant. So there are many desserts that have to be sort of a theoretical proposition for me.
You have no time for that.
Could you make it
lactose
with
bullshit.
almond milk?
Yeah, you could, but why would you? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go in. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to wrap this up. Can you remind everyone about the upcoming tour and the Twitch and how to use the internet if they were to find you on the internet?
So you wrap a piece of paper around a rock, you throw it in the ocean. My name on every website around is Emily Henry Music. That's me on Instagram. That's me on Facebook. My website.com and twitch.tv /Emily Henry Music is where you can find me 3 times a week. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 hours at a pop. It is a very friendly, welcoming community. So even if you don't know a single thing about Twitch, you are going to find a really nice, gentle place to come hang out and see my music. I am going on a house concert tour mid-July all the way through August. Those dates are dropping in the next week, so keep an eye out on social media. I'm also releasing a single on July 5th, which I haven't talked about even for a second, but I'm releasing a single with Megan Lee, another local artist, called Oh No. It comes out on July 5th. It's a bop. You're going to like it. I think that's everything I have.
You get it on stream platforms.
You can get
Spotify?
it everywhere you stream your music, Spotify, Bandcamp,
Fantastic.
wherever you want. Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
great.
Don, do you have any words of wisdom as we close out the show? Because I have to walk down the stairs to stop the stream anyway.
Oh, of course you have to.
Okay, bye, Alex.
Basically, the words of wisdom are write good songs and you've got it in your hands. You've got them in your hands. You write good
100%.
songs and you've got them.
Songwriting is the
That
foundation.
does it. And that even trumps performance to a degree.
I agree.
I mean, performance can get you a good ways, but if you've got a knockout song, I can think of a lot of performers that are bad performers, but they just have fabulous songs.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's about Kat, anything more?
No, you got this, man. You're just amazing.
Thank you.
I want to
Kat,
take you
for
home.
having me.
You're so sweet and kind and very low maintenance.
Thank you so much.
But you're just so much fun. And
this was
are you
awesome.
doing any local stops on this tour?
There are going to be several local stops. So I'm in the Northern Virginia area, and at the beginning and the end of tour, I'm going to be doing a few different house shows in this area. So plenty of chances to see me.
And we can find those places that you're going to be on Instagram.
Instagram, my website. I've got a Discord. If you do Discord, all the places. I'll be yelling about it very loud.
Fantastic. I can't wait. I'll be there.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
coming.
much for having me.
You're welcome.
This was really fun.
Very welcome.
Love it.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Good. Okay, Alex.